Now that Saturday night's main event has concluded, we are officially on the road to the Royal Rumble in a matter of less than 7 days. We're going to talk about Saturday night's main event in what was, I believe, from top to bottom, the best Saturday night's main event card that they put on since they brought the concept back. And I think there was a lot of people that had mixed emotions about some of the matches on this card and the way that it turned out. But I think from top to bottom, there was not a moment in time where I had switched away. I had turned my back. I was doing something else. I stuck to the show. And I believe part of that was because there weren't commercial breaks during any of the matches. From where I was watching, it didn't seem like they had any commercials. It seemed like they let the matches play out from beginning to end, and then they'd go to commercial in between the matches, which is how it should be. And hopefully they continue doing that moving forward, because that's what makes this feel like a PLE, and it also makes the matches we get to sit down and actually consume them better than if there was like 3 commercial breaks in between these matches. But overall, this was a phenomenal, no pun intended there, phenomenal Saturday night's main event card leading up to the Royal Rumble, and I'm intrigued. I'm not going to say I'm like overly excited to see what's going to happen at the Rumble because I don't think the build has been incredible. But because of what happened at Saturday night's main event, I'm more intrigued to see what direction we're going to head in. So we kick things off, and we have Jacob Fatu come out to the ring. Now, Jacob, he's cutting this promo. And if you guys remember from the night before, he cut this promo. Amazing, just from the heart promo, letting Cody Rhodes know that he is not Roman Reigns. He is not Solo Sikoa. He is not any of these other Samoans that he's had to face off against. And we saw that when they kicked off the show. Jacob comes out, he's cutting a promo as he walks down to the ring, comes out to the ring. Cody Rhodes comes out. He's doing his whole, entrance. And as Cody is stepping onto the third, it's the turnbuckle, the third turnbuckle. He's on the ropes and he's doing the whoa. In between that, as Fatu comes out and he super kicks him right off the turnbuckle, and they do this whole brawl. And I was thinking like, okay, this is kind of cool because they'll brawl a little bit and then they'll have the match. But they kept brawling, and I'm like, okay, they're not going to have the match anymore. Which, when you think about it, it's actually better this way because it doesn't seem like having a traditional wrestling match between the two of them would have been better than what we actually got. And we got this amazing brawl. I mean, Jacob says that he's in control, but really, when you look at this man's work, he's unhinged. And we love a Jacob Fatu who is unhinged, no limits, no remorse, and he says what he's going to do. He told Cody, I'm not like a Samoan that you faced before, and he proved it. These guys went all around the arena. I think we saw so many different items being thrown, trash cans. We saw beer cans. We saw popcorn. We saw, they went to backstage in the concession stand, and we saw security guard after security guard. I think they were guards because they were being thrown around like rag dolls, being thrown through tables, being knocked out. I mean, it was incredible. Seeing something like that to kick off a show. We have not seen a brawl like that in a long time. I'm going to say one thing. There's one thing that I was nitpicky about this match. I wish they do this a little bit more, but they don't seem to. When they do these brawls, you guys see that there's a formula to everything. WWE has a formula to everything, and they have a formula with these brawls too. They start in the ring, and then they go to the crowd, and then as soon as they're done with that, they go to the backstage. Usually, it's some kind of area where there's food, so there's concessions, and they do a little spot here and there. Then they come back the same way they came, or they might do like a circle, but they're back in the ring, right? I wish they show us a little bit more behind the scenes, like go into the locker room area, go into the restroom. You know, go. So I know it's Montreal. You know, it's like minus 25 degrees Celsius. It's not a place where you want to go brawl outside, especially when you're shirtless. So I get that. But like somewhere in the arena that we haven't seen already, I mean, that would have been incredible. I mean, if I rate this brawl a 9 out of 10, it would have been a 10 out of 10 if they showed us other areas in the Bell Center. You know, it's just an idea. But Drew McIntyre comes out and he's the guy that had to end this brawl because you had these security guards who we're not sure how much you're paying these guys, but of course they need to be paid a lot less or they need to quit because they can't do their job. So you have Drew McIntyre come out, throw Jacob and Cody. It was on this platform and there was a table on both sides. It was a pretty big platform. He threw Jacob off one and then he jackknife powerbombed Cody on the other side, onto the table there with like equipment and stuff. So that's how they ended that, and you know, I believe Cody and Jacob. We're gonna see them in the Royal Rumble on Saturday, and we still not sure who was the one that attacked Jacob because at this point, I think it's been clear. Like Drew McIntyre is not the one. Could it be Cody Rhodes? We're not sure, but this builds intrigue for the Rumble because now we know that, okay, Cody, he's going to be in the Rumble. Jacob is going to be in the Rumble. So there's a storyline there, and they're going to continue this because this was not decisive. There was no match. There was no 1, 2, 3 pinfall, submission, nothing like that. It was just a fight. So it'll be interesting to see where they take it. I love the opening. Again, if they had some adjustments with, where they were brawling, I think that would have made it great. But overall, I thought it was a 9 out of 10 opening for Saturday night's main event. Then we head into the women's tag team match. And all in all, this was a very fast-paced match. Very fast-paced. And Rhea Ripley just incredible performance here, as always, by her. But what I really like to see is I like to see Roxanne and Liv show off what they're capable of as well. And I think they put on a great performance. It wasn't their best, but for a B-level show, and also with the time they had, I mean, it was 4 matches on the card, so you'd think they'd be able to give enough time to everybody, and which they did. So I think they had like a good 10, 15 minutes on this one, and it was fast-paced. I enjoyed watching it, and again, Io Sky, I mean, I don't know, maybe outside of Rhea Ripley and perhaps Asuka, she is an incredible seller. Like the way she sells moves, the way she sells a clothesline, getting super kicked, just like it looks like everything hurts. And there's a reason why she's considered, one of the greatest, if not the greatest in the world, as a female performer. You just watch that match and you can see exactly what we mean. I believe Stephanie had also come back. She was nursing an injury. Looks like she's all of a sudden better. And is after Raquel. So they retain the titles. Rhea and Io retain the titles. And it'll be cool to see, again, the dynamic. Because we saw at the end, Roxanne was consoling Liv. But Liv had this look on her face like she was a little bit disgusted with her. Like disappointed but disgusted. Like, like how could you do this, right? If you watch the match, you can see that was the sentiment. That's what it was giving off on television at the end of that match. So I'm not sure. I mean, there could be seeds planted at the Rumble. Like could we see Liv versus Roxanne? Like could we see that one-on-one match happen at WrestleMania? I'm not sure. There were reports saying that Liv is supposed to win the Rumble match. Some are saying that Charlotte Flair is expected to win. There's other reports saying that Bianca Belair is coming back. She's going to win. If it was me, it all depends on who are we putting in the main event, or I guess who we're putting in, not main event, but like who's going to be the one competing for either I guess it's the Stephanie's title, or it's going to be what's her name? Jade Cargill. That's right. Jade's title. She hasn't even had a title defense, so I can't even remember sometimes who the championships are on. So I believe if Bianca's coming back, they're going to do Jade versus Bianca. They haven't done that yet. And if Bianca does come back, she wins. It's likely that's who she's going to challenge. And if it's not Bianca, then it probably is Liv. I think Liv wins, and then she'll face. I mean, it could be Stephanie, but again, this is what I'm talking about. Because there's turmoil in between, like with the tag teams. I'm not sure if they'll give the win to Liv, because I feel like they might do Liv and Roxanne. They might do some kind of feud within the Judgment Day first, because that's what's hot right now. Like it does not. Again, it's not like they couldn't do it, but it doesn't make sense for Liv to have this, like, her and Roxanne are in the tag team title picture, and then all of a sudden we separate that, we move that away. I feel like for Liv to go chase the world title, I feel like they'll probably take care of the Liv and Roxanne situation, and they'll have Liv separate, and then maybe after that they will have her go after a world title. But I think we're going to see a heel turn or a face turn, something like that, where one turns on the other. And Liv currently she's still heel, so she'll probably go face, and Roxanne will stay heel. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. Next, we move on to AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. This was probably the longest match on the card. I want to say maybe 20, 25 minutes. Dude, when you let both these guys cook, you're in for a match of the night. And if it was me, I mean, I think this was the match of the night. Of course, we only had 4 matches on the card. Doesn't matter, because every single match that we had on the card, it was not as great as this match right here. AJ and Shinsuke, they had their WrestleMania 34 match, which we all remember for the wrong reasons. It wasn't the greatest showing on the biggest stage, and not really sure what happened there. It might have been limitations of time, might have been limitations on what they could have done, because they probably had 12, 13 matches on that card. So this, it allowed them to breathe, and it allowed them to showcase more, and let more be shown by the competitors. AJ can still go, very much he can still go. Shinsuke Nakamura put on a phenomenal performance, one that we haven't seen in a long time. Reminds me of the NXT days when he was facing off against guys like Sami Zayn. Incredible matches there, and the crowd was hyped for this one. They enjoyed it, and I like the way that we're treating this AJ Styles final run. I wasn't 100% convinced that we're going to see Styles retire at the Rumble. I thought this was like, they're working us. Styles is going to win. He's going to renew. There might be something for WrestleMania. But it really seems like he's done after the Rumble. And I feel like we might see Styles in another match, perhaps maybe on Monday, perhaps next Friday. They're going to be in Saudi, I believe, for next the Friday night SmackDown, just to do another a match between one of his great rivals, before he fights Gunther on Saturday. So great match. I enjoyed it again, top to bottom. This felt like a WrestleMania match. So I'm glad they were able to give the crowd some of their best work before AJ, gives it up. And now we get into the main event. You see, it was apparent, it was obvious that Sami Zayn was winning this match. Now, and that's simply because hometown is Montreal. So we feel like, last year, we know Jey Uso was the one that was rocket strapped and won the world title at WrestleMania. This year, it could very well be Sami Zayn. Now, let's say because Sammy won the match. Let's talk about the match first. Trick Williams had an incredible showing, really showed us what he's made of, and there's people out there that say that Trick Williams is not ready. Trick Williams needs a lot of work. Trick Williams is not all there in terms of his character development. Just listen to the entrance. When he comes out, listen to the crowd. Everybody is singing along. Everybody. And this is a old school way of thinking. If you look at somebody's theme song and you can instantly tell, like, this is catchy, okay? And now you play it in front of a crowd and the crowd reacts to it, and every single time it's a reaction you get. The entrance music is like a foot in the door, like just to kind of get over with the crowd. Like if your entrance music is over with the crowd, you have a chance. You have a chance because when people think about who you are and what you do, it's when the theme music hits, it's either a positive or a negative, the reaction that they give you. Because who you are is affiliated with your theme music. So if it's a terrible theme song, I mean, you already know the reaction is not going to be there, and they're probably not going to get into the match as much as they would if it was somebody that they emotionally were captivated by from the start. Rhea Ripley is an example. Amazing theme song, amazing theme music. Every time it hits, people react to it. Right? So a theme song, I'm not going to say it makes the superstar, but it's part of it. It's like a big component of it. It's the first thing, actually. The first thing that anybody sees or hears is your theme music and you walking out. So that has to be on point, and Trick Williams has it. He has it. He has the catchphrases. He has the look. He has the in-ring ability. He has all that. Like, he is very much in line to be on the WrestleMania card. Like, I'd be surprised if they didn't have Trick Williams on WrestleMania. In some sort of capacity, like mid-card perhaps. I'm talking this year WrestleMania. I'm not talking about next year. I'm talking about this year in Las Vegas, WrestleMania 42. So Trick had a great showing. Even Randy Orton was, dancing to Trick's theme music. So that tells you a lot too. Now the thing is, I was of the mindset that perhaps, Randy Orton wins and faces Drew McIntyre, and Sami Zayn might get the win at the Royal Rumble, like in the match, in the men's Rumble match. But it seems like they're going to have Sami versus Drew. Now, I do not believe Sami is going to win. I don't believe Sami is going to take the title off Drew. But I was hearing reports that perhaps Sami might end up in the Rumble match, even if he loses against Drew McIntyre. So you know what that means. If you have a competitor who has lost the match in that night, in the same night, and then ends up, declaring for the Rumble match, that's the person who usually wins. Usually that's how it works. Because you wouldn't have Sami lose against Drew and then put him in the Rumble just to have him lose the Rumble, right? It doesn't make sense. The story doesn't align. The stars don't align there. So I'm a bit concerned because I don't really want to see Sami Zayn be on television or be on Royal Rumble more than once. Like in terms of being in that role. Like he's already had a title shot. He doesn't win, and then you put him in the Rumble. I mean, the Rumble is more like for somebody else that I believe has not gotten a title shot or has not been showcased enough to the WWE crowd because they're new, they're coming up, and there's more ability they have that they are going to show the crowd as they head into WrestleMania season. So when I say that, I'm talking about like someone who, like an Obafemi, for example, or maybe like a Trick Williams, or like a Braun Breaker, right? Somebody who is not the future. Sorry, someone who is currently like has not been in the title scene, has not main evented, has not done all that, and is coming up. Someone who recent, come up from NXT or recent call up from the independent scene. Like that's what we're looking to see. We're looking to have the Rumble establish new stars. I don't really like the situation where the Rumble like it's won by part timers, or it's won by guys that are already box office names. And Sami Zayn, I mean, he hasn't had a world title. I don't think he's had a world title shot, but he's been in the main event. He's fought for the title. He hasn't won. So if they do decide to have him win, then it's very likely that the story here is going to be Sami Zayn, similar to Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston. They're going to crown Sami as the champion at WrestleMania. Now, the world champion right now is CM Punk. Sami Zayn is, I can't remember. I think Sami, Sami's on SmackDown, if I remember correctly. So Sami is probably, you see, that's where it gets interesting, because I don't know if Sami faces Drew McIntyre again at WrestleMania if he wins the Rumble. So that's where I'm sitting here thinking, like, if Sami, unless they put the title on Sami at Royal Rumble, which, that'd be crazy. I mean, but they could do that. That's actually more likely, simply because it's in Saudi Arabia. So, I mean, it's all preference here. It all depends on who is the champion heading into Mania. What is the main event you want to see? Do we want to see Drew and Sami again? Probably not. Again, the reports were that Braun Breaker might win the Rumble. If he wins, then it's world title for him. Roman Reigns. If Roman Reigns wins the Rumble, then it's WWE Championship for him. Could we see a triple threat scenario? Maybe. So it's interesting, because the plans are not what they used to be. Things have changed, things have altered. So it's interesting to see, like, where are they going to go, because the fans don't really know. Now, it's obvious to say that, well, Sami wins at Rumble because it's in Saudi. I don't know if they'll take it that route, though, because I feel like there's going to be some kind of twist that's going to come up. But overall, I feel like the Rumble, the excitement has grown. As I said, I'm more intrigued now than I was before, and I look forward to seeing the match. I think there's a solid, like, 8 to 10 guys in the match that you could say could win this match. Like, if they were to win this match, it would make sense. So that always creates this sort of unpredictability as to, like, who is going to win. So all in all, Saturday night's main event, I thought it was a good show. I mean, top to bottom, card was great. I loved every match, and I look forward to seeing what they do at the Rumble. Again, guys, stay tuned, because I will be talking more about the Rumble, talking more about reports and potential reports on who might be winning. Of course, we're talking about matchups for WrestleMania, so I'll be putting out videos regarding that as well later in the week. So make sure you stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, so that whenever I post, you're the first ones to know. And share this with other folks in the wrestling community who also enjoy talking about wrestling and WWE, especially this time of year. This is the hottest time for WWE and the hottest time for wrestling heading into WrestleMania. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.